Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and happy new year. Oh, I'm so excited to kick off productivity season for the year. That's not what we're calling it. This year we're calling it whole life productivity. Last year we're calling it our productivity power hour, which I love the rhyming, but really we're all about whole life productivity because our focus is on finding balance, building purposeful, meaningful lives. So this is all about whole life productivity now. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily as productivity power hour, which has both alliteration and rhyming. So, as always, or if you're new, as you're joining, make sure to get your journal, your notebook, whatever, your beverage. I'm still working on my latte, but it's getting cold. Get settled in. And we're going to start with a prompt question. Love those. So it is, what is one thing you're proud of from 2024? And I'd love for you to put this in chat. I'm going to put the question in chat. What is one thing you're proud of from 2024? And I'm going to say mine. I have a lot that I'm proud of. Like, while it was a rough year, I think I handled everything super well. I'm very resilient. But I'd say the thing that I'm the most proud of from 2024 is losing 70 pounds. Like, I'm not trying to brag about it, but honestly, I'm really proud of it. It was a lot of work, and like, I took headshots last week, and just seeing the difference in the headshot previews just really cemented just how much progress I've made. And so I'm just so proud of it. It was a huge accomplishment for last year. So I'd love to know, as you're joining, what is one thing you're proud of from last year? May graduated with her master's with a 4.0. Go May. That's amazing. That is a huge thing to be proud of. That is like a life accomplishment last year. That's amazing. Big congratulations. Yeah, last year was just so bananas for so many people, just so many ups and downs. That's a huge, huge up. I love that. I kind of want to ask one more icebreaker, if everybody's okay with that, because I love this question. What is your superpower? Not what superpower would you choose, but what is your current superpower? Like, I know it's resolution time, so we're all thinking about like what we want to improve and change, but literally, like, what are you good at that you can be proud of? What is your superpower? I know. Go ahead and put that in chat. And again, for people who watch this on replay, I'd love it if people would comment on what their one thing they're proud of from last year and what is your superpower. And while you're typing, because I know there's a little bit of a delay, my superpower that I took for granted for so long is my time sense. And I just always know what time it is. I know how long things take. I know how long it's been since I started doing something. Like, of course, I'm not perfect. I do sometimes get lost in, the flow of things when I'm like deep in an activity. But honestly, like, I just have super good time sense. Like, and I didn't realize it until really late in life that other people didn't have that good time sense, that they weren't just late to annoy me. But yeah, I'd love to hear what your superpower is, if you guys don't mind sharing. I know that that can be a tough question. Jeremy, if you're not answering, I'm going to tell you, because I know Jeremy in real life. Jeremy, your superpower is you notice everything. Like, you literally notice everything. And I do think that's a huge superpower. Like, you pick things up so well, like great observational skills. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the productivity part of this session. And for those of you who've already set a new goal, I'd love it if you could write down a new goal that you've set and or put it in chat. And for those of you who need a minute to think about it, I am going to share my screen really quick. Because I think that even if people have set a goal for this year or made a resolution, a lot of times people's resolutions are so focused on health and fitness, which is awesome, right? Like, absolutely support that. Again, that was my biggest accomplishment last year. But if you look at the 6 dimensions of building a meaningful life, I'd love for everybody to take a second and look at the 6 areas and just see if something jumps out where you want to set a goal in that area. So even if you've done a health and fitness one, is there another dimension of life where you'd like to set a goal? And if you already have your goal for the year, that's awesome. Please feel free to put it in chat, but no matter what, definitely write it down in your notebook so that you can refer back to it, both throughout the year and during our session today. And if anybody needs to take a screenshot of the 6 dimensions, please feel free. And there is a little explainer for each of the 6 dimensions. So, sometimes you set more than one goal for the year, and this can be something new you want to build into your life, something that you want to accomplish or achieve. So, as you contemplate what new goals you did set for the year, and again, please feel free to share in chat, I want you to also think about how do you plan to meet that goal this year? So you've set one or more things that you want to do or to add to your life this year. How do you plan on achieving that? So take some time and make sure to write down in your journal, like, how are you doing that? I'm going to use the fitness example because I always say it's the easiest. But if you are working on health and fitness, what's the plan to do that? Is it, going to the gym twice a week? Is it meal prepping on Sundays? Just make sure to write that down. And for anybody who, again, doesn't mind sharing your goal or goals that you've added for this year, I'd love it if people could share what they're working on and how they plan on doing that. And he says, my goal is to do something I love with someone I love at least once a week. I love that. That is so concrete and specific, May. That is perfect. Something I love with someone I love at least once a week. That's amazing. Definitely great for the relationships and connections dimension. Sam says, improving my time and attention management at work. Sam, I love that. Well, I mean, I love that. That's kind of my jam. Oh, for 2024, that is what you're proud of from 2024. Sam, congratulations. I love that. I know that you've been working on that. So that is amazing that you really did good progress on that last year. Good job. I love that. And for people who love learning and growth, that could be learning a new skill, taking a new class this year. As you look at, how do you plan to meet your goal for this year? Depending on the dimension, your plan is going to look very different. I've been enjoying learning so much, and as we know, this is kind of the year that I'm building a new life for myself, so I've been taking a lot of new classes. I've been doing yoga classes, but I've also been doing a lot of spirituality classes, so that, to me, goes in both learning and growth and spirituality and meaning. And, if our goal is to build, like, really well-balanced, meaningful, and purposeful life, like, you might have different goals in different quadrants that aren't about outcomes. They're not about something that you accomplish. It could just literally be something you're experiencing, something you're learning, something that you're expressing through creativity. All of those matter too. It's not just about producing. And again, that's why we're calling this whole life productivity, because it's not just about what you produce. It's about how you're building a life that you love. All right, for those of you just joining, our first question was, what new goals did you set for yourself this year? And if you haven't, take an opportunity or take the time to look at the 6 dimensions and kind of think about something. And then how do you plan to meet those goals this year? It could be, like May said, spending a specific number of times doing something you love with someone you love. It could be taking a class. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. So, what's important to you this year and what's important to you this month? So, if you look at your top level goals, what would you articulate about what's important to you this year and how does that translate to this month? Since, I am working on building more relationships and community, that could be joining a new activity with a new group of people. That could be getting my friends together to try and create some community. What's important to you for this year and this month as you think about your top level goals? And then as you think about that, what are you committing to doing this month? How are you making January meaningful as it relates to your bigger goals and your bigger purpose? What is something that you want to commit for January? Part of my year of doing everything is doing more things that scare me. And so in January, this is scary for me to say because that means I'm really committing to it. But in January, personally, I'll be pitching in person workshops to sell. And again, that's a little scary for me. But yes, that is one thing I'm committing to doing in January is pitching in person workshops to sell. And then as you think about what you're committing to do in January, how are you going to do that? What's the action you're going to take to do that? That could be like in my example, that could be setting up some meetings, sending an X number of cold emails, etc. But how are you going to move the needle on that commitment for yourself in January? And if I'm going too fast, will somebody say something in chat? I think my caffeine's kicking in. So if I start going too fast, I need somebody to call me out. I don't mind. And as you think about how for the month, now we're going to continue to drill down. So we start year, month, now we're going to the week, right? So, what is it that you're going to do this week for these goals that you've said is important to you? And that could be taking what you just said for your how in January and making something concrete for this week that you're going to do for that goal. And how. So, what are you going to do this week towards that goal and how? And just to continue my example, if this is helpful, if it's not helpful, feel free to tell me that too. It's okay. Um, I'll be making a list of people I want to pitch to or mechanisms for pitching. So this will be my week where I just do some research and listing and also prepping materials for doing pitches. Because everything's less scary if you're prepared, right? And if anybody feels like sharing any of that for the week, definitely pop it in chat. I know it actually helps everybody else to hear what people are up to and what people are working on. So as you think about what you're committing to doing this week and how you're going to do that and how that ties into that bigger goal, feel free to put that in chat. It also means that it makes it even more fun for us to celebrate with you when you tell us that you've done it. And then I know this came up in one of our previous productivity sessions, so I'm going to give you a specific challenge, which is how will you check in with yourself during the week? So you've set what you want to do for the week. How are you going to check in with yourself during the week and hold yourself accountable, make sure that you're making progress, whatever wording resonates with you, we'll leave it at checking in. But how are you going to check on yourself this week for your goal? Personally, I came up finally now that I've got a bunch of different things I'm working on at the same time. I'm kind of in expand mode. I finally found a system that works for me. I had tested Notion, hated it. I had tested, I'd been using Trello for a while, but it was a little too limited. I didn't want to use two different tools, so I settled on Milanote. And I have a week view that I created in Milanote that's really working for me. And I have recurring things and then I have individual tasks. And on Wednesday, I put in a checkpoint. So check on your goals. So I'm looking at that every day. And then on Wednesday, I'm like, am I making progress on the goals I set for the week? So that's a good way for me to check in. And then just because I'm here to help support and give structure to y'all for productivity, as you think about how you're checking in with yourself throughout the week, is there something I can be doing to help you? I know that when I was talking to my best friend ChatGPT, it suggested putting a post up on the community tab on YouTube, but I know that that doesn't push out to people and that may not be enough. So if there's a way that I can help with, kind of a midweek check-in, let me know. Now, as you think about your goal for the week, how you want to accomplish it, and how you want to check in, I'm going to ask you, what is your backup plan? What is your backup plan? And that is in case the way you want to do it this week doesn't work out for some reason. This is going to be your first pro tip for this week's productivity is that, hey, stuff does not go perfectly. I'm an amazing planner and I'm having to adjust all the time, right? Like, I'm just going to be really honest. Like, part of being an amazing planner is always having a contingency plan. So, an example is if my goal for the week is to go to the gym 3 times, we've got a polar vortex coming into Texas. I have a backup plan, which is that I do yoga with Adriene videos and there's walking videos that I like in case it's too cold to go outside. So whatever your goal is for the week, what is your backup plan in case internal or external circumstances interfere with you doing it the way you want to do it? Because the important thing when it comes to working towards your goals is recognize you don't have to work towards them perfectly. Like the way you do it may not look the way it looks in your head, and that's okay. What matters is making that progress. Like this is where progress over perfection really comes into play is knowing that I wanted to do it this way, but if that doesn't work out, I'm still going to do it this other way, and that's what matters is that I'm making this progress. So as you look at what your goal is for the week and you have your primary plan on how you want to do it, if that doesn't work out, what are you going to do? Not give up. That's not an option. Have a backup plan. And then my second pro tip, and again, if I'm going too fast, somebody say in chat, if my second pro tip is this, which is that if you're adding something new to your life, building a new habit, or you've got your set 3 activities that you do all the time, work, kids, feeding yourself. If you're adding something to that, which a lot of people do at the beginning of the year, when you do that, you need to make sure you do it in a sustainable way. So that's our pro tip for this week is make sure that whatever you're adding in is sustainable. And an example of what's not sustainable is if you're a night owl, then making a plan where you get up at 4 a.m. to, write your book, that may not work out, right? Like that's not super sustainable if you're a night owl. Try it. And again, have a backup plan if that doesn't work. Another example of not sustainable is people who do like extreme diets. I don't remember what it's called, but one of those 30-day ones that's sustainable for 30 days. So what are you going to do after that? That's not a year-long plan. Or if you are adding something to your life and your partner is going to pick up more of the housework and childcare, is that sustainable for a year? You know what I mean? Like that might be enough to get you started, but then how are you going to sustain that long term? So just make sure that however you're adding in this new thing into your life, that it's in your plan. You're not just hoping you're to do it, like we're here because you're planning it and scheduling it. But again, it has to be sustainable. It can't be so extreme that you're going to lose steam and give up on it. So that's my pro tip is whatever you're adding to your life, make sure it's sustainable. I loved May's example because adding in one activity a week is sustainable and also gives you flexibility. So it's not like, oh no, I didn't do it Monday, so I'm screwed. You know what I mean? So think about sustainability. And the reason I'm saying that now is because now is the time where we move into calendaring. And so take some time now to bring up your main calendar and then whatever you're using for your goal tracking calendar for the year, month, and week. Look ahead at your calendar for the week for like work. For a lot of people, it's the first week back at work. And a lot of stuff got pushed to the first week of the year. And as you look at your calendar, make sure that it makes sense, make sure that it's balanced for the day, and make sure it's balanced across all the dimensions of your life. Because since work can be crazy in January, a lot of times that means the things you're trying to add get pushed. We default to putting work first so much, and I'm gonna challenge you not to do that. That's a mistake I've made my whole life, and I'm gonna challenge you, don't put work first. I know it sounds crazy coming from me, but I learned the hard way. Don't put work first. So look at your work calendar. And my other challenge is gonna be, I know everybody jokes about circling back, and now it's actually time to circle back. What things did you guys say you would circle back to that maybe don't need to be done or can be let go, or you could just make the decision and you don't have to force everybody to go to a meeting? So really challenge yourself about making sure that meetings and time that you're taking for yourself and other people is meaningful and efficient, because a lot of times it might be better just to let everybody have the time back and make the decision or move it to chat or something. So hopefully all y'all have your calendars up. You're challenging whether or not you need all these meetings or if they can be handled a different way that's better for everybody. And also looking at balancing in all of your life activities so that you're not sacrificing your truly fulfilling dimensions for work. And once you're done with calendaring, definitely take a look at the links I just put in a chat. So I don't know if everybody's signed up for the newsletter, but the best way to stay up to date with our upcoming sessions is to sign up for the newsletter. So I'll send out things as I get them scheduled. I've also added a section to the website with events where you can click through and RSVP to events so you get reminders of what we've got going on. And then if you are enjoying what we're doing here at She Makes It Work, the videos, the workshops, the lives, any of what we're doing, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It would mean the world to me. And you also get inside access and additional tools and resources on Patreon as well. But please continue calendaring when you're done if you just want to drop, or you can say goodbye. I'd love that. But I'd also love to know what you're looking to accomplish this week. I'd love it if people would share. May, I love that. That's such a good idea. Getting people together to do hobbies together. I really, really like that. It's a great goal for the week. And next week at 10 a.m. Central, we have our Purpose Finder workshop right before our 11 a.m. productivity session. So if you're still feeling a little bit like question mark about some like life purpose questions and refining goals for the year, that will be another session to spend some time on that. And then we'll do productivity again next week. But as we're rolling out our Life by Design framework, we'll have a lot more support, tools, and resources this year that I think are going to really help everybody. I'm really excited. And again, to stay up to date on that, follow the link to sign up for our newsletter so that you can, again, get all the updates about everything we're doing. And on Patreon, I do tend to post updates ahead of time. And this year, we'll be moving into some polls and ways that you can actually contribute to building out the framework. Sam says, goal this week is finding an integrative functional doctor and finding a doctor for your knee. Girl, if you don't get that knee looked at, you know I'm going to drive to your house. But yes, okay, great. A functional doctor. That is so awesome. But yeah, that knee thing, I feel so bad for you. I know that that's really driving you nuts. And a great example of focusing on the wellness, the health and wellness dimension. I know personally, I think my doctor is about to take me off of my semaglutide. And so this week I need to actually sit down and start figuring out uh, a really specific meal plan because I am not going to backslide. And then also, as you're calendaring, for those of you who are in Texas or in the path of the polar vortex this week, I know I mentioned that that might impact like gym plans and going out, but just make sure that today you are wrapping your faucets, that you are stocked up on food. The temperature is already dropping quickly outside, and just whatever other goals that you have for the week, just, have your contingencies for how that might impact your goals and know how you're going to work around it. Also, if you do workout videos, I had tried yoga with Cassandra and I just don't it's just not resonating as much as yoga with Adrienne, but if anybody else has great yoga channels or workout channels, let me know. I am afraid I'm gonna have to work out at home most of this week. And I really do like the walking at home ladies, they're hilarious. I'm trying to figure out what else we need to prep for the polar vortex other than wrapping the faucets and getting food. I feel like there has to be something else. And next week, just to give you a preview, I'm trying really hard to build a playlist of YouTube approved music so that when we do the working sections of the videos, we can have some music background that's not disturbing. I hate building playlists though, so this has been like weeks in the making. Turn off the sprinkler system, cover patio furniture. Okay, yeah, those are good. Bring anything inside if you could bring it inside. Oh, and cover your bushes. I know we lost some bushes 2 years ago in one of the hard freezes. The landscapers already did the neighborhood bushes, so it's hilarious to drive around and see all these blankets covering the bushes. Yes, I need to bring in my patio furniture more. But if there's any other improvements that you guys have or feedback or suggestions, even for the productivity sessions, things that would help, let me know. You can put it in chat. You can message me privately. Personally, I love feedback and improvements. And I want these sessions to be as valuable as possible to everybody. So let me know if you want me to show the prompts on screen. I've been trying that in some of the other lives, and I don't know if people like that more or less than just staring at me the whole time. So let me know if having the prompts up on the screen would be helpful as well. And then one of the other things we'll do this year is I'll have kind of what we're calling study sessions. I've found this is really helpful and popular on YouTube for like people who actually like study like in school. We're going to actually test this out for people working in the six different dimensions is we'll have lives where it's music and something cute on the screen where people can talk and chat. I think that'll take a while to build up to just because we don't have like a ton of people yet, but I know more people are joining, so those will get more and more valuable. But it's nice to have time set aside where hey, that's my working time and you can just join the thing and it's low pressure. So that's another thing we'll be rolling out this year. Awesome, May. Thank you. Okay, good. Yeah, I've heard those are really popular with folks. And again, that's something I'm a little nervous about. But if I'm nervous about it, I'm doing it. That's my thing this year is I'm just doing the things that scare me. Oh, so yes, it's going to be a very challenging year for me. I'm getting outside my comfort zone in a lot of ways. All right, everybody, we are at the 31-minute mark. If anybody has any questions, drop them in chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and close this out and let y'all finish calendaring on your own. And again, send me feedback, send me notes and messages. What else would help with our productivity system this year? Because the whole point is to help you guys. And yeah, let me know what else we can be doing or what else would be helpful. Yes, thank you so much for joining, everybody, and I will see you next week. And make sure to check in with yourself on Wednesday. Just put it on your calendar. Wednesday check in on your weekly goals. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, y'all.